Fulton County DA is charging President Trump and others in the state of Georgia with. And this is what I want to do. I want to make sure that the Republican Party never, ever forgets.
Forget what, Marge? That Republicans claim to be the party of law and order? Let's see.
Because we need to be sure to come after these people when we win the White House in 2024. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Eric, we are going to win. And when we win and we take charge of the Department of Justice and the FBI, those agencies need to be gutted. They need to be gutted of the communists that are doing this to Americans and twisting the Justice Department. We need to impeach these judges that are abusing the power of their bench.
But she doesn't want to stop there. She keeps going.
And then we need to go after the real criminals in America, the ones that are destroying our freedoms and the ones that are willing to tear our country down and politicize the power of the federal government against Americans.
Yeah, Marge, did you forget that it's actually you and your MAGA buddies who are trying to tear this country down? And then, when there's accountability, you try to make excuses and defend them. Watch this.
Some windows, okay. 22 years? We can't let this happen. Your thoughts?
Oh, you're absolutely right, Eric. And I'm purely disgusted at our government and our justice system. We don't have a justice system when someone was not even in Washington, D.C., and they're sentenced to 22 years. And again, what you said is true. Child molesters don't even get 22 years in prison when they're first convicted.
So there you have it, Marge. They gave Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, 22 years in prison, and you feel it was not right, even though he was involved in organizing the conspiracy to overthrow the government and basically overthrow democracy. You said even child molesters don't get that much time. Now, I don't know how much time child molesters get. I don't know what the penalty is for a lot of different laws, but I do know that this guy was involved in a conspiracy. He was a leader of the conspiracy. As a matter of fact, the federal government wanted more. They wanted 33 years, but he got 22 years. And then your excuse is, well, he wasn't even there. You don't have to be there to be guilty of committing a crime. Charlie Manson was not at the murders of the Tate murders, but he helped mastermind it. I think Marge is also afraid because her leader, Trump, was not there, but now they're going after him. And perhaps it'll come out that Marge had a hand in all of this stuff. Maybe Marge is just trying to defend Enrique Tarrio because she knows that it's coming back to her. Let's face it, these people were involved in a crime. They should do the time. Enrique Tarrio effed around, and he found out. That's how it goes. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you should want people who break the law to be held accountable. Used to be, the Republicans said, we are the party of law and order. Now that law and order is going after them, they don't want it anymore. Matter of fact, it's interesting because there are some Republicans who realize that we need to be neutral in this. The judge who sentenced Enrique Tarrio was appointed by Trump. So, these MAGA Republicans keep moving the goalpost, all right? They keep saying that, originally they were saying that law and order, we support law and order. Then they attacked the Capitol. They attacked cops that day. They don't defend the cops anymore. Now they're saying when the courts come after them, they go, well, these courts are all corrupt. We need to get all these. They're all communists. They're not all communists. Matter of fact, there's a way to actually go and contest an election, which is in the courts, which is what the Trump administration originally did. They went to over 60 cases and they lost them all. And then Trump's logical thinking Republicans started to admit that they'd lost. Your Bill Barr, your head of election security, a lot of members of his own party started saying, we lost, you lost. It was, by the way, it wasn't a close loss. It was a big loss. He lost. And yet his ego wouldn't allow him to admit it. So he decided to go with your cuckoos, your Rudy Giuliani's, your John Eastman's, your, what's her name, Sidney Powell's, all the numbnuts. And here we are. They led it all the way up to January 6th when they decided to attack the Capitol. Enrique Tarrio wasn't present that day because he was held back because of some other violations he'd made, and he wasn't allowed to be there. And yet, we have video of him talking to the head of the Oath Keepers. We have video of him talking to Roger Stone. We know he was involved. The court has now taken him to trial and decided that he was guilty. And people like Marge don't want to accept it. That's the big issue too, by the way. Marge, I think, needs to read a little bit about the law. the way the law works, it doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat. It holds you accountable. If Hunter Biden committed a crime, hold him accountable. Take him to court. Let's see it. If Joe Biden committed a crime, take him to court. Let's see it. But let's see it. Let's not just make stuff up. All right? Donald Trump clearly committed several crimes, whether it's the classified documents case, where he wouldn't return the classified documents and he was obstructing justice, whether it was his call to Raffensperger over there in Georgia asking for 11,000 votes. There's a phone call. We heard him clearly try to steal the election. He ruined the lives of two volunteers, election workers who were there trying to help get us a fair election. He hurt their lives by doxing them, getting their information out, and having his people threaten them and possibly try to attack them. And that started with Rudy Giuliani saying that these two election workers were doing something illegal. Everybody knows that Trump lost the election. So the people that are telling you that he didn't are either liars who are trying to coax you and trying to get money out of you, like Marge, or they're cuckoo and they feel that there's conspiracies all around and somehow the Venezuelan government and Hugo Chavez and Dominion voting were all conspiring together to steal this election of 2020. And what's ironic is you get your Josh Hawleys, you get your Ted Cruz's, you get your Lindsey Grahams, you get some of these people in Congress, your Jim Jordans, your Lauren Boeberts, your Marjorie Taylor Greenes, who try to defend it in any way they can. Recently, I overheard one of them they were in an interview, and they said that I heard one of them in an interview say that, you know, the move to indict Donald Trump on his behavior in January 6th is a political move by Biden because he's trying to politically get rid of his political opponent. And they said that in 2024, we should let the people decide. The people should decide. Well, the people decided in 2020, and you decided not to accept the will of the people. So what leads us to believe that you're going to accept the will of the people in 2024? It ain't happening. You're being held accountable. If you commit a crime, you got to do the time. That's what's happening to Tario. That's what's happening to everybody else who was involved with January 6th. And it's coming. They already got the lower level people. The lower level people tried to get out of their crimes of attacking the Capitol by saying, some of them said they didn't mean to attack the Capitol. They got caught up in the moment. What kind of BS defense is that? I've never been outside of a bank and looked over and seen a bank robber running by as I'm trying to use the ATM and made eye contact, be like, let's do this. And then try to rob a bank and then go in front of the judge. Your Honor, I'll be honest with you, I got caught up in the moment. I was trying to take out 20. I decided to go for 20,000. Doesn't work. Their defense didn't work. Tario's defense didn't work. Trump's defense ain't going to work. And hopefully one day when we find out that Marge was giving tours to these people the couple days before, her defense won't work. I'm Maz Jobrani. I have a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Check it out and tell your friends.